Okay, this next effect is going to be a text effect, and there's a number of ways to create effects with text, just to make the animation more appealing, fast-paced. We're going to start off here with, we'll use our $499 again from the last clip. We're going to change our color here. Let's make it kind of a rich blue. And that's good enough. We're going to put a solid background on here, and I'm going to click on my eyedropper, and by grabbing that color now I can take the saturation down and the brightness up, and now we're going to have analogous colors, okay, which is a very common color scheme. Now under your text options, you're going to see a little animate button. Now if we click on animate and go to all transform properties, you're going to see several different options here. The first one is going to let you animate the anchor point. You can see it actually appears to be moving your object, but it's moving the that point. You can animate your position on the X or Y axis, and you can adjust the scale. Sometimes you'll see text just really large like that, overlapping, character overlapping, and then it'll scale down to its normal position like that, and that's a pretty neat effect. And you'll see it blur as well as it does that. Okay, you've got skew, you've got rotation, rotating each character, and then you've got opacity. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make this text start really like way out of whack. We're going to animate the scale going up a little bit, not too much. We're going to add some skew to it. blur. Let's go back a little bit with that. Just bring the keyframes closer together. I'm going to drag my work area a little further in as well. And let's check that. There we go. Looks a lot better. If you wanted to add one more thing to it, you can go to Scale, and from the very beginning you can make it very large, where it's just coming in. You know, they see this, they have no idea what it is. You turn on the your stopwatch, and right there, as it's starting to lock down to its normal position, you change these back to 100. These are linked, so if you change the first one, it changes the second one as well, right here. So now you see this thing, you're like, oh, what is that? And then here's your effect. So there you have it. One of the cool things that you can do with text in After Effects.